to set greetings to you, Highlight. Do we know each other? If not, let me introduce myself. My name is Bella Isis Mitchell, and I am the author of the fabulous book series Take Courage, Lightworkers, Take Heart, My Life Among Aliens. These enchanting written works are available on Amazon. I can briefly and concisely explain to you what makes me different from ordinary authors. Firstly, I'm not really human, but an alien in a human body, and secondly, my books are enchanted and actually alive. If you have ever dreamt of living like Harry Potter, or disappearing into magical wardrobes, or being surrounded by dwarves and elves like in Disney movies, then I urge you to browse my channel. There are fabulous adventures that I can personally take you on, and my books are alive too. Sometimes things or creatures slip out of the pages. If you would like to know more about this, please listen to my recording with this title, Magic Books That Call You, Hear Their Whispers. Why do I write books or post on YouTube? Well, because I'm already living in the new world. I am already living in 5D, and yet among you. I'm not from the future, nor am I a time traveler. No, I live among you in our shared timeline, but still in different realms of perception. And in my books and YouTube posts, you will receive codes and anchors that will be transferred into your system so that you too will receive keys and access to this new world. But what you still need is an open heart center with a lot of love to share with humanity, and the frequency of gratitude and purity to vibrate within you. Then all the gates will be open to you. But now I've talked enough. You have finally come to me to experience a new adventure. Are you ready for true magic? Well, what are you waiting for? I give you my hand right now and take you into my world. Let me tell you, there is no turning back afterwards. Once you enter the enchanted levels, there is no turning back. Are you brave enough to enter a new world? The new world we all long for? Come with me. We now enter the world of reality without illusion. I have a very special guest with me today. You won't believe it, but Julius Caesar is sitting next to me in bed. As an alien in a human body, I have already received numerous divine gifts and abilities, and can see, hear, and feel beings. And now, he is sitting next to me in all his glory. Julius Caesar. But it's best if I tell my story from the beginning, so you can understand it as well. It is normal for me to have contact with ghosts. Well, contact isn't quite right, because I usually get visitors here on Earth in our shared timeline. As the Pleiadian emissary of my tribe, I am allowed to mediate between dimensions and have been also able to meet or reconnect with numerous personalities after, well, a actually forgetting our friendship through the veil of forgetfulness. One day, I suddenly received the energy of a very special personality. You won't believe it, but Julius Caesar spoke to me. Or so this version of his soul or his aspects spoke to me, for he too had many incarnations and was not just Julius Caesar, but more on that later. My amazement and joy knew no bounds. Wow, Julius Caesar spoke to me. Not much, but I was allowed to have telepathic contact with him. Basically, he just told me that we would be doing a recording together for YouTube sometime soon. Wow, that really blew me away. Then I didn't hear from him for a good 2 weeks, and today he contacted me. Wow, it was really a big surprise, because I have to admit that I'm not feeling very well today. I am in bed trying to recover. To relax, I proofread one of my English scripts. I was in the middle of something when Julius Caesar announced himself, so I couldn't resist getting out of my equipment to record for my channel. I am still lying in bed, completely relaxed, and Julius is sitting next to me. He requests that I call him Julius for most of the rest of the recording because we already know who he is. The being is so beautiful to look at. He shines like a god and is masculine in beauty and at the same time graceful and magnificent. Julius deliberately dressed as he would have done in Roman times, so that his aspect of that incarnation could be incorporated here. He wears the typical male costume of an emperor in Roman times, including a red cloak. His chest plate shows wonderful abdominal muscles. This metallic garment shines gold with touches of copper as Julius moves. He is wearing a helmet, very typical of Roman legionaries, but he is only holding it between his right arm and his ribs. He is not wearing it on his head at the moment. This helmet has a red bristly crest on top. I don't know if you call it that, but I'm sure you know what I mean. The helmet is also gold with a coppery sheen. The reddish or coppery color makes it appear softer. If it were only gold, its primal masculine power would be even more pronounced. But Julius also wants to show his gentle, merciful and kind side. We have heard many stories about the powerful Julius Caesar, the emperor who aspired to great empires. He had his life experiences at that time. From our point of view, many things were not so kind or even megalomaniacal, but he asks us to look at him without judgment. He has had life experiences just as you have yours. Julius doesn't judge you either, no matter what you have or haven't done. Feel within yourself what exactly he means. Always start with yourself first. It is not your place to judge or condemn other beings. Julius is going to tell us a little story today that may be enriching for your further life path. He is going to dictate a channeling to me later. He is still waiting patiently for me to finish my explanations. The being wears a delicate laurel wreath on his head. Julius embodies victory and endurance, steadfastness. Although I feel his divine connection to all that is, he is still a being who expects pure respect with his presence. He would show you the same respect if he were standing in front of you. Julius doesn't see himself as higher or lower than you. We are all equal and come from the same source. But Julius' character is very much influenced by the masculine primal energy in its powerful form and wants absolute respect. Yes, he demands it. That's absolutely fine. Everyone is different, just like you are different or I am different. Julius embodies power, dominance, strength, virility, courage, fighting spirit. He is a powerful being and demands absolute respect for his appearance. I also have experienced this from God Thor, but I knew this God long before this incarnation. We are very good friends. You are welcome to listen to my contributions to God Thor on my channel. He also appears time and time again in my books I write. Julius and I don't know each other yet. We are just getting to know each other, so to speak. He became aware of me when I began to reach out more and more to the celestial realms, seeking contact. I have been in contact with spirits for a long time, including friendly poltergeists, but at the end of the last year my journey began to make contact with well-known personalities. I will reveal which wonderful ladies began this journey, but not today. That is another story for another time. Julius is still sitting beside me. Now I've said enough. It's time for me to hear the words of the mighty great Julius Caesar. I am now speaking primarily in my own voice, but aspects of him are embedded in my frequency. The message is energetically programmed, and if you are clairvoyant, you can feel the vibrations of Julius Caesar. By the way, if you need help to push your abilities, please subscribe to my channel. I teach people to open their abilities along with numerous entities. My books also open up these clairvoyant, clairaudient, and especially clairsentient qualities in you. But now we come to Julius' words. I can now repeat what he wishes to give to the human world on our path to ascension. Julius places his index and middle finger on my temple in direct communication with me. It begins. Julius speaks now. Salve, dear children of earth. Salve, dear people. I, Julius Caesar, the mighty emperor, greet you personally. Feel my power and strength energetically embedded in this post. Bella Isis is so kind and echoes my words that I really want to express. Know that I have not only experienced human incarnations on this planet, but am actually of extraterrestrial origin. I wanted to have my experiences as you are having yours now. Accept my presence without judgment. I also see what you have done or not done. And know that I don't just speak for this incarnation. I can read your Akashic records. Be aware that there can and must always be two sides to an observation. Finally, there are the two polarities, and these are even more intensely expressed in your dense matter on your mother goddess Gaia, on your home planet Earth. You can experience duality, and I have had my experiences. Whether they were or are of a good or from your point of view bad nature, it doesn't matter from this point of view. However, something that is lived is also given back. The divine laws are always just, and if something has been done or taken, then you as an individual can balance it all out so that everything comes back into harmony. You call that justice. The divine laws are always absolutely just. My origin is on Arcturus. I am actually an Arcturian, but I'm showing up now in the human form of my soul aspect, Julius Caesar. For that is the energy I want to give you today. You are experiencing times of boom and bust in your personal being, on your soul path. You experience sadness, but also joy. You have to go through difficult times, which are then balanced by more pleasant events. Everything always comes back to the starting point of harmony. Sometimes it takes several incarnations. You humans are now trying to escape this path of karma, or rather to escape by active action from your circle of seemingly infinite incarnations in lower spheres. You and your ancestors have been trapped in a cycle of incarnation for too long, and there is always something to be resolved or harmonized. Because you are only human in this incarnation, and because you experience anger, resentment and sadness, as well as joy and contentment, you have overreacted to some things and burdened yourself with issues that should at least be resolved. You have accumulated karma, and although this last sentence is not correct, since karma is the law itself and you cannot receive it upon yourself, since it is always with you anyway, I believe that this sentence can reach you as a human being in your understanding. I see the path you have chosen to escape this cycle. It is time to end the seemingly endless incarnation in the lower spheres, for you are divine beings and deserve to always live in the truth and harmony of the cosmos. And yet, you are like prisoners when, in fact, you are free. It's a strange way of looking at it, and at the same time, everything that needs to be said has been said. You are prisoners, and at the same time, you are free. If you could see this through my eyes, through my heightened awareness, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. The reason I wanted to speak to you is that I want to give you a push to sort out your karmic issues as best as you can. Ultimately, the majority of people now incarnated have chosen to come here to break this wheel, to end its seemingly eternal turning. The more you resolve and dissolve, including your family karma, the slower this wheel of destiny will turn. You will become slower and slower on your seemingly tireless journey until you can finally come to rest. Think of it as a buckboard rushing through the countryside with snorting horses. You have a lot to do, and your horses are trotting and galloping as fast as they can. The size of your team depends on the issues you have to deal with or solve. Your coachman drives the horses. They gallop, snort, snake, and dash along the path that represents your destiny. But along the way, the horses have to be stopped to breathe. Otherwise, they would collapse and not be able to carry you all the way. No animal could do that, no matter how strong and powerful it is. Horses are wonderful creatures, I have to say. Very graceful, powerful creatures. But now back to your buckboard. How it is equipped and the size of your team depends entirely on what was agreed with the Karmic Council prior to your incarnation. It depends on your learning topics or tasks, and above all on how much or what you have to pay. But it also works the other way round. Perhaps in previous incarnations you have had to give too much or give up too much in order to receive a lot now, so that everything can be balanced again. For there can also be an imbalance in the other direction. As I said, there are always two sides to a coin. Try to recognize what your team looks like. How well does your carriage work together? Does it need repairs to carry you through these incarnations? How are your horses? Are you giving them enough time to graze? Do you water them enough? Are there good accommodations for the horses on your journeys? Are they well looked after while you prepare for your next journey? Look inside yourself and see how your horses are doing. It is important to keep them in good condition. Otherwise, accidents or incidents may occur to remind you to pay attention to your carriage and horses. Always remember to give your horses a rest and keep your carriage well maintained. Do you see your team in you? So, you are on a journey through your personal events. The horses are rushing forward to accompany you along the way, to lead you to your issues. They move you forward on the path and lead you to the places that need to be corrected or balanced. And now, my previous sentence comes into play. So, you rush along at a furious gallop. Your coachman driving the horses. They snort, do their best and carry you where you need to go. A team of horses and a carriage have been with you through all your incarnations. The equipment you use depends on your issues. But after all these journeys through your adventures, the horses are exhausted. Even though they have been replaced from incarnation to incarnation, your team in this incarnation is also exhausted and wants to rest. The horses want to be free, to escape the lashes of the coachman who has to keep driving them. They want the coach to slow from a furious gallop to a gentle trot until they can walk, knowing that the next hostel is in sight. You can see the next tavern in the distance. The horses know they will find clear, good water there. There are good oats, juicy apples, and healthy grass. They are hungry and tired from their journey. That's enough. It's time for the wheels of the coach to slow down. It's time to arrive at the hostel. It's time for those wheels to come to a stop, having traveled or rolled so far. It's time for your carriage, your coachman, your horses, and you as a traveler to rest. And that is what you have planned in this incarnation. So, if you are still in the situation where the coachman is yelling at the horses, whipping them and rushing through their rear, I would ask you to focus on the distance, because that distance is already in sight. You can already see your hostel. It is in sight, but at the same time it seems far away. But you can already see it. In other incarnations, you have never been able to see your hostel or even to find it, because your journey has taken you through rough territory. But in this incarnation, you are allowed to reach a hostel, knowing that you have found refuge and shelter there. You have finally arrived at your destination, your home. Your journey has been long and arduous. You have experienced beautiful, enriching things in your adventures, but you have also grown through formative experiences. I would like to leave you with this view. Know that Julius Caesar also had to go through this journey in different incarnations and with different support. Once I had an impoverished farmer's hay cart with an almost starved donkey or mule, and in another incarnation I was allowed to drive an imperial chariot with a team of 10 strong black powerful stallions. The horses' coats were healthy and shone in the sun. There were times when I didn't have a carriage and was allowed to ride a white mare. I had her as a foal, and she left me in old age when she died. She was a grateful being. I loved her very much. Remember to concentrate that this may be your last journey through these dense levels, through these lower forms of being. Go into yourself and make sure that you lead your team through this 3D level for the last time. It's up to you whether you follow the path to the clearing where your shelter is built, but it's also up to you to take a different path, which could lead you into a whole new world of adventure. Consider whether you would rather heed the urgent call of your soul's path than wander through rough territory again. Remember that it is up to you whether you end up at the hostel or continue on your journey. My story was impressive enough. I tell you, think about my words. Think about it and think about what your carriage might look like. Think and concentrate on the hostel. It's time for the wheels of seemingly endless journeys to finally come to rest. Julius Caesar.